Wholesale versus fix and flip, which one should you be doing? While both wholesale and fix and flip can be immensely profitable, one may be better for you than the other. I personally did more fix and flips than I did wholesaling, but I know several people that have created empires only doing wholesaling. So let's talk about how to decide for yourself which you would rather like to do. So first off, I want to talk about some pros and some cons in wholesaling versus fix and flipping, because there's some differences here. So I'm going to jump over to the whiteboard here. So we're going to say, hey, this is fix and flip. And over here, this is wholesale. And we're going to talk some pros. Make sure you can see this. Cons, pros, cons, okay? Pluses, minuses. This is the old Benjamin Franklin, right? Like, just do a T-graph and see where it goes for you. So here's what I'd say. Some of the pros with fix and flip. This isn't always the case, but can be more profitable. You can make more money doing that. Not always. Sometimes wholesaling can be more profitable, okay? So that's one of the pros with doing your fix and flip. One of the other pros with doing a fix and flip is you can turn it in, can do a BRRRR. Okay, so you could do the fix and flip and be like, you know what, I just want to keep this property, turn it into a rental property, do a refinance. That you have the ability when if you've wholesaled it, it's already gone. You can't change your mind or do any of that type of stuff. One of the other things with fix and flips that we've seen lately is values have gone up. So it's like, hey, from the time I started the rehab a month ago to 6 months later, the values have gone up a lot. But that also can be a con. The values can also go down during the time you're actually doing the fix and flip, okay? Some other pros when you're dealing with the fix and flips, or some other cons as you're dealing with the fix and flips, you have to do project management. One of the big pros when we're dealing with this is just seeing the seeing the change, I call it a transformation. I love seeing the before and afters. I love doing that, right? One of the other things with the fix and flips is you can, you've got to project manage, you have to worry about the values and the market changes. Let's just say market changes is what you're looking at, okay? So some of the pros with wholesaling, okay? You don't have to get a loan. In most cases. Some states you've got to, but you really don't have to get a loan. Where on this one, you actually have to get a loan, right? The other thing about this is you're out fast, okay? So you're out in, you know, a week or 2 weeks or something like that. You're not into that, which we probably should put as a con over here, right? So you're at 5 to 6 months, maybe longer in getting this property resold and staging and all that type of stuff. The cons here, it's typically less money. You're typically gonna make less money. That's not always the case, but you're typically going to make a little less money. Some of the other pros that are over here is you don't have to deal with the values or the market changes, but that could also be a con dealing with market changes, because if the market's heading up, you could have gotten more value down the road. We're seeing that right now. Well, some of the pros, you don't have to project management. Basically, everything that's a con here, for the most part, is a pro here. So project management, don't have to get a loan, and the time frame. Those are the big ones. Now, but let's talk about this. These come over here as the cons. You make less money. You can't change your strategy. So if you're in the middle of it and you're like, man, let's just go for a BRRRR type deal. Let's keep it. I really like this. You can't do that. And you're not involved with the whole transformation. So the thing with the wholesaling also is with wholesaling, you've got to get a really good deal, and you're selling that good deal to someone else as a good deal. And this is something that a lot of people just don't understand. Like if you're wholesaling a property, the person that's going to do the fix and flip still needs to make a profit. So you've got to get an even better deal than somebody would need to do a fix and flip. And that's one of the major cons here, is you have to get a really, really good deal. Good deal. That's probably one of the biggest cons. Where with this, you just have to get a good deal, right? Because the person that's wholesaling it is going to need to have enough margin that the fix and flipper is going to make some money as well. So let's just use some examples here. All right, so let's just use some simple math. Let's just say that the property ARV is going to be $150,000, okay? So, and let's say the repairs are going to be $30,000. We're going to take that off there, right? And then there's commissions and agent fees. Let's just say that's 6%. So that's $9,000, okay? And then we're gonna have some title fees, which I typically put 1%, which is $1,500. You're gonna have closing costs, you're going to have origination fees, you're going to have all that type of stuff in here as well. So let's say some loan costs, let's say that's, I don't know, $5,000, and let's say there's some interest you're going to pay, and let's say that's $10,000, right? So let's look at all of those things. So for someone, and then they're going to want to make a profit on the fix and flip, and I typically say it's got to be 10% or greater, so let's call that $15,000. So this fix and flipper, let's call this guy fix and flip, he is going to have to buy that property for 150 minus 30 minus 9 minus 1.5 minus 5 minus 10 minus 15, okay? He's gonna have to buy that property at $79,500. Let's just call it 80 grand, okay? He's gonna have to buy that property for $80,000 for him to pay the repairs, pay for the agent, pays for the title, pay for the loan, pay for the interest, and for him to make a 10% profit of $15,000, okay? So as a wholesaler, you're gonna have to buy that property for less than $80,000 so you can sell it to the fix and flipper at $80,000. So maybe you can buy the property at $70,000 and you make $10,000, or maybe you only get it at $75,000 and you make $5,000, right? So the idea here is, and this is where a lot of people get confused, they look at it and say, oh, it doesn't make sense to do a fix and flip because there's not enough profit. I'm just gonna wholesale it. Well, if there's not enough profit for you to fix and flip it, why would there be profit for someone else to fix and flip it? So if you are wholesaling, you're gonna have to be better at marketing, you're gonna have to be better at sales, you're going to have to be better at those types of things to get a better deal. Because in the wholesaling game, you're really not improving the property. What you're doing to the property is you're finding a great deal, you're spending advertising, marketing, sales, and you're getting a great deal, and you're passing on a good deal to someone else. And you're making the difference between the great and the good. So in this instance, we're talking, you get it for 70, you can sell it for 80, you make $10,000, you walk away and you move on. But you've had to spend time and money to make that happen, where the fix and flipper is just saying, oh, I'll take that for you from 80, and doesn't have to spend the marketing, the time, the money, those types of things. So there's pros and cons to both of these. I really loved seeing how the whole property would transform itself, and I love the rehab, okay? So, but lots of people hate rehab, and lots of people don't want to manage contractors, and if that's the case, you probably should lean more towards wholesaling. But I'll tell you one other thing, and let's just jump back to the whiteboard here. Something else that you can really be looking at, and this is what a lot of people will do. They will basically say, if I wholesale this deal, I'm gonna make $10,000, okay? Using our example, if I fix and flip, I'm gonna make the $15,000 that the fix and flipper was gonna make, right? Because we had him at $15,000, and I'm gonna make the $10,000 for the wholesale fee. So I'm gonna make $25,000 if I do the fix and flip versus doing the wholesale. Well, there's a whole thing here of time and money, and where do you wanna be putting that? And is it easier for you just to find another house? Maybe, maybe not. Those are things that you've gotta be considering. But this is the other thing that I'll tell you is lots of times if there's a wholesale deal and your wholesale profit was gonna be like $50,000, okay? And this guy was gonna make, on the fix and flip, was gonna make another $50,000, so it's a $100,000 profit. We have a name for these. These are called whales, okay? These are called whales. So what a lot of wholesalers will do is they'll wholesale the base hits, but when they have a home run or a whale deal, those will be the ones they'll take their time to go ahead and rehab because the profit spread is so much bigger. And so they're saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take this all the way because it's gonna be better. I'm gonna make a better profit because of that. But on the base hitters, they're just gonna get rid of those and unload those. And then when the whales come along, then they're gonna go ahead and say, hey, let's hang on to this one and do a fix and flip. But a major caveat here. If you're not good at managing contractors, you either need to get good at managing, find somebody that's good at managing, or focus on doing wholesales, because you'll make it or break it with a general contractor. The way they do it, quality of workmanship, getting it done on time. If they take too long, it's costing you a lot of money. So you'll make or break it with that. So you want to make sure you can manage them and make sure you have great contractors. Often new investors start wholesaling, and then they can use the profit from wholesaling so they can get into fix and flipping, where they can make a little bit more money. Although you don't just have to do that, you can also be doing the wholesaling, something to take into consideration. So if you're a little more experienced, fix and flips may be better for you and you might be earning some bigger paydays. Or if you're already a general contractor or you're already in construction or you already know one of the trades, you might be able to get things done a lot less expensive than someone else and therefore earn an even higher profit margin. So those are also some things that you need to be considering when you're weighing out, should I fix and flip or should I just wholesale the property? I have put together a video on the 13 steps to a successful fix and flip. You're gonna wanna check this video. I go through where you can actually start when you're doing fix and flips, setting a roadmap to actually making your first deal happen. What are the most overlooked parts of a fix and flip, the things that people overlook all the time. So check out this video. You're going to love it and make it a very profitable day.